Hey everybody, how are you? My name is Michael. I'm the co-founder here at backtothefuturetrading.com. And today we are broadcasting from the Outer Banks in beautiful North Carolina, where I just learned several minutes ago where we are on this small remote island in the Atlantic Ocean received the lion's share of snowfall, 8 to 9 inches in some places, and I can tell you, looking out the window, that estimate is correct. And so if you were in the deep south this week, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Texas, Florida, and you're you're bundled up like we are, hang on, it's getting warmer every day. See, asking for plastic instead of paper all those years is finally paying off. So let's get right into it. And I'll make sure the microphone is okay. I should be going through my wireless microphone. And yeah, I should be okay there. Somebody said I sounded muffled. Let's just make sure that that's still the case before we go forward. Does it sound okay? I have the microphone right by my voice. Testing a new setup here, so I want to make sure it's okay. We'll get started here in the meantime. Part of our claim to fame is the fact that we believe banks are pushing markets up and down at key times throughout the day. Their algorithms are designed to entice you to buy when they're about to sell and sell when they're about to buy. It's a lot like going to the casino and watching somebody walk up and place a bet at a blackjack table, and the dealer puts out 21, 21, 21, and you're like, how the heck is the casino winning every single time, right? And so we started about 15, 16 years ago really looking at this question of how are banks winning quarter after quarter after quarter, and only 5 or 10 people out of 100 winning as traders. And the answer to that really lies in what we believed was the timing of the market. Banks, we believed, the secret was focusing in on the times that banks were actually pushing prices higher or lower. And so when you first look at a chart, it appears random and chaotic and sporadic and all of the ick things. It appears to have no rhyme or reason to it. And we're told by influencers, we're told by gurus, we're told by the vast army of marketing machinery that the only way to be profitable is to sit there bar by bar, tick by tick, looking for a litany of things ranging from acronyms like ICT and LMNOP to indicators with really funky names like the silver bullet or the black coyote or the super trend, when in reality, it's a highly organized mafia, a cabal of elevated participants, men and women, in mahogany offices with an army of algorithms who are legally untouchable, that never go to jail, never pay the price for their market manipulation, for their black dark pools, for their HFTs, their high frequency trades, for their spoofing. No one ever goes to jail. But you can't see that in the data because it's chaotic and messy. And I use this example of a QR code. If you showed this to somebody born in the 1920s who is 80 years old, they would say, I don't know what that is. But to someone who's used a cell phone and is used to putting their camera up on it, they could see that that was information, that in the chaos, in the noise of that square with the broken up pixels, there's actually a link to valuable information. In this example, our website. And I believe markets are the same way. When you look at a chart, your brain goes, oh, something must have happened in the Middle East. The Houthis must have launched an RPG at a boat out there, or the Strait of Hormuz must have had an issue, or somebody lit a well in Kuwait on fire because the price of oil futures is going up. But if we turn an algorithm loose on it and say, hey, are there any times where the price of oil every day lately is going higher? Now that isn't as noisy or chaotic. You see, there are things humans can't see because we're hardwired to focus on what's right in front of our faces. And I think banks know this. So if the software identifies that 5:30 is a time where lately, almost every time the price is going up, I can sit here 5:30 tomorrow and risk maybe 10 ticks, maybe 20 ticks to see if it'll go up another 100 or another 30, or in this case, another 50 ticks. If there is a plan, if there is a pattern based in time, what a tremendous advantage that would be. And up until this point in the webinar, you have no reason to believe anything I'm telling you. Everything I've said to you could be a carefully calculated marketing message with zero proof or evidence. And so here's why we are different from everything else you've ever seen or heard. When you tell people that the markets are predictive, when you tell them that they're time-based, you can do something no other guru, influencer, or marketing machine can do. You can tell them on Tuesday in an email on a web page what you're expecting to see in the E-mini S&P, in the E-mini NASDAQ, in the E-mini Dow, in Bitcoin, in Ethereum, in the Euro US dollar, and then let all of the forecasts for Wednesday and Thursday play out. You see, if I really believe what I'm telling you, if the rubber meets the road, where those two things meet, we should be able to tell you what our software was telling all of our customers and come through and evaluate those things together. And that's exactly what we're going to do. But first, let me show you the page that information was located on. On our website, there's a web page. I'll go ahead and put a link to it in the description. And if you're watching from home, I'm going to read it out to you. I'm not afraid to show you where it is. And we'll go ahead and hit send. It's backtothefuturetrading.com/warp, W-A-R-P dash webinar dash forecasts, plural. Backtothefuturetrading.com warp dash webinar dash forecasts. And it says, hey, we dare you to follow along with these times over the next 2 days. And here, for example, E-mini S&P, oil futures, gold futures, the DAX, the euro currency, the Dow, the NASDAQ, euro dollar, pound dollar, and Ethereum are all listed here. And so the one we always get the most questions about, the E-mini S&P, it's the trader killer. Most of the marketing machines are telling people, hey, if you're going to trade, you're going to need to trade the E-mini S&P, because why? Drew, in just 2 short weeks, our team of master gurus and influencers are going to have you trading 200 contracts for 2 ticks every day. 200 contracts for 2 ticks. Now you got to risk 20 ticks, but don't worry, it's got a 100% success rate. How many of you heard a marketing message like that in your lifetime as a trader. You got to trade the S&P because you're going to be trading so many contracts soon, you won't be able to do it in the NASDAQ. That's a real thing. And so people will always ask us, does it work on the E-mini S&P? Well, let's check it out. When was this chart posted to the internet? 4 days ago. So today is Thursday. That means Wednesday, Tuesday, and Monday. It means the forecasts for Wednesday, the data patterns, the behavior patterns that the software found when asked the question, are there any times on Wednesday where we're expecting the E-mini S&P to go up or go down? It came back and said, and 12,000 lines of code developed over 15 years across 5,000 customers came back with these answers. But those answers were published 4 days ago. We could go to the server room with a team of forensic experts who would testify in court on their children's lives. These blue and white and gray and black pixels have been there unchanged, unaltered, unedited for 4 days. Why is this important? Because inevitably in the emails I'm asked, hey, can I have a trial? This is your trial. I want you to understand the impossibility, the absolute absence of ways for me to manipulate this. 4 days ago, blue and white lines. If any of these signals produced anything remotely close to profitable movements, there's a problem. There's a problem for you if you're not a customer, because it means you've bought into the gurus and the influencers and the lies of the marketing machines, and what you've been told isn't true. And you're going to come to a seminal moment in your career. Holy cow, I've been looking at the wrong thing, or maybe looking at things the wrong way. If anything on this screen is remotely close to what actually happened on Wednesday, and we have them for Thursday too, and I have them for 10 other markets. So we've literally taken away our sleeves. There's no place to hide. It's blue and white, 2 days, 10 markets worth of signals. This is the trial. And I need you to understand this is a turning wine into a water into wine, rather. This is turning a water into wine moment. And then walking on it, because markets are random. They're impossible to predict. There's no way to know if it's going to go up or down. What about Trump? What about Biden? What about this? What about that? What about Musk? Noise. Let me show you what I mean. We'll go here, take rid of all these, erase all these drawings. And now what is this chart telling us? It's telling us this. We're waiting for moves up on Wednesday, Eastern time at 9:40, 10:25, 12:15, 1:55, 3:15, 4:40. We're waiting for moves down at 4:15, 6:25, 8:40, 10:20, 11:45, 1:30, and 2:30. That's it. And the only reason these times exist, the only reason these times are marked on the histogram is because back here in the historical data recently, they're happening over and over and over and over again. Let's go. Let's wander out onto the field where the charts are and see for ourselves what happened on Wednesday and on Thursday. But I warned you before we got here, if the answer to the question was yes, oh my goodness, what does that mean for you as a non-user? Okay, ready? I will draw some things just to make sure the accountability is correct. This is 840. This is 840. This is 735. This is 735 2 days later after the posting. This is 2:45 Eastern. This is 2:45 Eastern. This is 4:15 Eastern. This is 4:15 Eastern. 6:25 Eastern. 6:25 Eastern. 5:05 Eastern. 5:05 Eastern. Shall I continue? Sure. 11:45 Eastern. 11:45, 10:20, 10:20, and 9:40 is over here. All of the times that were published 4 days ago, when we arrived 2 days after they were published, are on this chart. There literally is nothing I can do to manipulate your perception of what we're looking at right now. Who has any thoughts about this? Roy, do you have any thoughts about this? Because here's what I see. I see a 120 period average on the chart and an admonition that we would buy all of the buy signals in the direction of the trend and get out by the end of that move. From 245 to 415, from 505 to 625, from 735 to 840, from 940 to 1020, from 1025 to 1145, and now you have lunch. If you trade through lunch, you lost money here, you hit your stop, you hit your stop. And then you were short from here until 440. You want to add that up? Sure. From the UK to the end of the US session yesterday, here we go. With a 120 period moving average, EMA, long at 505, out at 625 is plus $3.50. Long at 735, out at 840 is $4.50. Long at 940 and out at 1020, which is the high of that swing pivot, is $13.50. Long at 1025 and out at 1145 is $8.50. By lunchtime, from the open of the London market until 12 o'clock, you have 8, 21, 29 points, nearly $1,500 in live trades. I'm sorry, hypothetical trades. And remember, I didn't just come up with this trading system on the fly. We'll also be showing how the signals can be traded by using one of two simple entry rules called signal with trend or the puncture trade. This video provides an overview explanation for these. A max 1.5 ATR stop will be used when the setups of these times arrive for the Thursday demonstration. I want you to realize what I just said. I told you what times we were going to trade, and then I told you how we were going to trade them 2 days before we arrived at the actual signals. There is zero room for me as a guru to manipulate or wiggle or convince you that somehow I have secret knowledge. There's zero opportunity for me to manipulate these results or convince you with some Jedi mind magic that this is real when it's not. It either works or it doesn't. And if it does, you have a problem because it validates what I've told you, that the markets are manipulated. Okay? So let's trade all the way through the day, shall we? If you went past lunchtime and bought and sold by 1:30, you lost $2. If you went and bought at 1:55, you lost 6. And if you bought at 3:15, you hit another 5. So you gave back 12 of your 30, kept 15 to 18 points. If you sold it here and covered at 440 after the close, you got 5 of that back. So let's call this plus 20 points. If I can find the text tool. Following the rules, $20 times $50 is about $1,000 based on time entries. Not to negate the fact that 2 days after the signals were published, almost everyone went in your direction right away, which is completely opposite of what every trader in the world experiences. Okay. Now there's a setup called a puncture, and I want to talk to you about a puncture so we have an idea of what that is before we get to it. And to do that, I'm going to go back and show you an example before we look at tomorrow. If we have a selling pressure signal, like the one at 8:05, what that signal is telling us is that over and over and over in the last several thousand bars of historical data, somebody has stepped into the market and tried to push prices lower. Over and over again lately, somebody has come in at 8:05 regularly enough that the algorithm said, wait a minute, 8:05 keeps selling. So now if the trend is rising and our goal is to buy and have it go higher, the absence of the sellers who usually sell at that time is communicating information to us. And you're saying, wait a minute, the sellers aren't here. Why aren't they Oh, JP Morgan, Bank of America, Deutsche Bank, BlackRock, whoever it is, the Illuminati has decided at 8:05 that they are not interested in prices going down. There's a beautiful scene in the TV show Breaking Bad where Gus Fring turns to Mike Ehrmantraut and says, it is not in my interest for you to kill Hector Salamanca at this time. He steps in when Mike Ehrmantraut is ready to pop Salamanca from a couple hundred yards away, and his horn starts beeping on his car that he's hidden, and they prevent the assassination. Have you guys seen that scene? It's beautifully written. And at 8:05 this morning, it was not in Jamie Dimon's interest for the price of the E-mini S&P to go down at that time. So what a puncture does is says, hey, this is our stop level. And right now, my stop is 1.5 ATR values away from the signal. 1.5 average true range values, which in English means 1 5-minute bar plus half of a 5-minute bar away. However big a 5-minute bar is at the time of the signal, on average, we're going to take that and add 50% more, and that's going to be our gap. And so if we're waiting for the sellers to come in, and it's supposed to go down here, it's supposed to do this. And Drew, it continues to rise. Honey, I gave him the ibuprofen and his fever keeps getting hotter and hotter. Well, how hot is he? He's 99.9. An hour later, he's 101.2. The ibuprofen isn't working. We need to take him to the ER. At 8:05, if the price starts to rise higher and higher and higher until it finally breaks through that stop line, I'm a buyer and I'm long. We're at a point we shouldn't be at in the direction of the trend. It's a failure of the sellers with trend, kind of like a breakout trade. Well, how long do I hold it? Until the next cycle. This is a window of time that I'm exploiting. When you use time, you're exploiting a window of activity. And if 805 isn't going down, if it's not opening and falling, and it's instead rising, I still want to be in that number when the Saints go marching in. Now, where's my stop? In the video on the page, I told you. With a puncture, we enter on the other side of the stop line. Our stop goes below the candle that punctured the line. So on this day, it opened at 6,000. It blew through the line at 0550. My stop right here, 99.25. And I'm going to hold it until the next time cycle. So there would be a stop out here, minus 3 3/4, a puncture, and then another signal with trend where I finish where I started, basically at 940. That's important because when we get to today, we got a couple punctures. 525, we open and we finish at 645 minus 2. We open and we finish at 7 o'clock at plus 2 ticks. It crosses below the moving average and we finish negative 3 ticks. We open and we finish with a whopping 2 ticks. Here comes that report. Bing, 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 whatever that is. There's a puncture. It goes through the blue line and I finish in the hole minus $1. 910 is a signal with trend. I finish with 4 ticks. Ooh. Then comes 10:05. We moving on up and on up to the east side. And we start ding and we go and we go and we go and we go. And it gets as high as 129 and goes, ugh! And now there's $10.25. What did I know that most people don't know? What do I know? What was the secret? I knew how much risk I would maximally incur before the trade starts based on the volatility of the market in the moment. I don't have arbitrary stops. I'm not telling you to risk 200 ticks to make 2. It's the size of a 5-minute bar plus 50% away. It's logical. And then I'm telling you how long the window of time is. Not because I'm a guru, but because over and over and over again, in the last several thousand bars, 12,000 lines of code that are trained to do one thing, find these times and windows, said, wait a minute, JP Morgan or whoever, BlackRock Illuminati, is pushing the market up at 10:05. I got to tell Michael. Okay. And I was ready. At 10:05, we were long for $10. Now, at 11:45, look, we finish lower than we started. Womp womp. Hey, your system loses money sometimes too. That's how you know it's real. That's how you know it's real. There's a puncture now at 105. Your stop is below this doji candle. I'm in. Ah! And I make a whopping 6 ticks. Then at 150, look, I give some of that back, -4. But then look here. There's the puncture at 355. We're being equal across both of the days. And now I'm bringing 7 of that back. 1, 2, 12, 13, 20, 15, 12, -1, 11, 10, 8. Let's call it 7. So across 2 days, 7 times 50 is 350 hypothetical dollars. And then yesterday was 1,000. So over 2 days, that's $1,350 of hypothetical trades following the trend with 4-day-old times. That's bananas. Do you understand how crazy that is? You mean there's a future where you can wake up and know, here's 2 days worth of signals. I could have known about half of the time where the exact pivot high or low was going to be? Yeah, you could have known. Where it goes immediately in my direction? Yeah, because here's the magic. Ready? I already have the times for tomorrow. You could have the times for tomorrow and Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday of next week. It's all here. It's already solved. It's already written in stone. 2:35, 4:15, 5:10, 7:10, 8:35, 10 o'clock, 12:05. 3:20, 4:30, 6:05, 8:05, 9:30, 11:20, 1:40. Well, what do I do at those times? Guess what? We already know what to do. I'm going to trade a signal with trend with a 1.5 ATR stop and hold it until the next time, or I'm going to trade a puncture with a stop below the breakout candle and hold until the next time, which means I already know how many trades I'm going to take tomorrow, more or less, which means I can't use too large of a stop, which means I can't overtrade because I have appointments with the market. There are only so many times here from 5 in the morning until lunchtime tomorrow that are locked in, which means I have to let my winners run because there's a time window. And the time window doesn't care about your FOMO. The time window doesn't care about your bias. The time window is there because the giants and the juggernauts of the industry left these giant footprints behind for us to follow. And so, of course, I have the times for tomorrow and the times for Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday ready to go. Do you understand? None of the news you're going to hear about, none of the reports that are released are important because they've already codified their behavior patterns. Now, is it 100%? No, but that's why I show you this. That's why I show you this. So you can see Day after day after day, they are following a plan. Now, does that mean you have to trade with the trend? No. Can you dare to be different and try to short 805 and try to short 520, try to short 940, try to short 1135 and 220? Sure. Can you come in here and use divergence and MACD and all of the things and try to pick a high and pick a low? Of course you can. I'm not saying you can't do those things. I am saying that 4 days ago, I gave you the most basic, simple system I could think of and the times in advance so that I could prove to you it's real. Does anybody have any questions about this? Because you realize we've literally done the impossible. And so there are comments that come up in the Facebook groups that I post into. And someone will say, I looked into those guys. That software seems kind of pricey. And in 2 days, it covers more than half of the cost of the software in what, 20 trades? But that's too pricey. I want to use it for 6 years, free of charge. I want to give it to my uncle, Sal. If Sal doesn't like it, I don't want it. But if we like it, Michael, there are 1,300 people in my family who are all going to buy it. These marketing machines have us fighting against each other, where when you finally see the thing that's going to help you, they've trained you to think in such a convoluted, stupid way. And I tell people very simply, there are 1,000 free trials. Please go do all of them. Because it's never free, is it? It starts with a free ebook generated with ChatGPT. And then it's $1 for the book because we want you to have skin in the game. And then a college kid with a script calls you and gets you on a bad day where you go, what the hell? $200, I can lose that in 5 minutes. And the next thing you know, you're eating watercress sandwiches in West Palm Beach. You've got a $10,000 seat where they take your phone away and you've got a notepad listening to some guy talk about Bollinger Bands. You're like, how the hell did I get here? It was a free trial. These people have us fighting with each other, right? So, any questions about this before I go deeper? Okay. Does it just work on futures or does it work on other things? It works on other things, right? If we put it on a daily chart from Microsoft, for example, and we load the standard default template to the chart, the software is going back and in a few seconds telling us what the behavior patterns are. And so now I can look at Microsoft in the morning and see, holy cow, there's a selling window between January 17th and January 29th. January 29th is the next place I expect it to go up. The last 2 places I was told to look for moves up in Microsoft were December 3rd and November 11th. What about Netflix? Netflix on a daily chart, put in the 4 numbers. Let's look. Wow, it looks just like a 5-minute E-mini S&P chart. So it's fractal, it scales. Times don't care what you trade. I'm going to buy Netflix and get out on the 1st. I'm going to lose $8. I'm going to buy it and get out on the 30th, make 53. Buy it and get out on the 27th. Puncture trade, finish where I started. Buy it and get out, and I lose a little bit on the 27th. Puncture trade, and now I'm long and I've made $35 in Netflix. Okay, what about the weird stuff? What about the markets no one likes to talk about? What about the markets that Warren Buffett stays out of, even though he buys a huge company related to it in South America? You know the one I'm talking about. Ask Melania about cryptocurrency and President Trump. They have a lot to say about Bitcoin. Now, there are two halves of your chart. When you work with our company and you get this tool and you own it forever, these are the dates in the future where the buying signals are happening. These are the dates in the future where the selling signals are alluded to be. No other program on earth is thinking this way. 12,000 lines of code, an army of bots are looking for the times that BlackRock and Vanguard and all of these yahoos are manipulating markets and never going to jail. If I bought crypto on Bitcoin and I sold it by the 21st, it's a $2,000 move. I bought it on the 1st and sold it on the 24th, it's a $7,300 move. If I bought it on November 4th and I sold it on November 12th, it's a $20,000 move. Getting back in on the 15th and out on the 29th is a $6,300 move. In on the 11th and out on the 19th, negative $3,100. In on the 31st, out on the 7th is a $4,100 move. Puncture trade, and right now I'm underwater $4,800 with a stop right here below this candle until the 2nd of February, where I'm going to do the same thing again and again and again. And when they move, I move. And I guarantee you, with Musk and Trump in the office now, that the manipulation of this market is about to go off the scale. Recordings of our webinar are available on our YouTube channel, usually within a few hours, by the most 12 hours later after the webinar, for those of you that have to leave. And it's here. All the dates are here. All the dates are here. Does it work on SPY on 5 minutes? Does it work on gold and oil futures? Sure. What about Doge and Trump coin? Of course. Any market that's traded by two people handing over one contract and agreeing to buy and sell is analyzable by the program. But the thing you have to remember is I've been publishing these times now for a year in cryptocurrency. These dates, just like I'm showing you here, I can go back to webinars a year ago and show you when the chart was blank here. You've been in the webinars and you know I told people about all of these sell times and all of these buy times. I can pull up the receipts and tell you these dates haven't changed. And I'm screaming from the top of the roof. The big banks are coming, the big banks are coming, and no one's listening. That's a tremendous advantage for you. That's a tremendous advantage for you. This isn't a holy grail, it's an edge. It's an edge. It's an exploitable edge. You just discovered there's a machine in the casino, and when you pull the handle, when the screen says lemon, lemon, lime, if you see lemon, lemon, lime, that machine's getting ready to pay off because your buddy in the gaming commission got a glimpse of the software, and he knows lemon, lemon, lime is the screen right before the payoff. Oh, that's an edge. I'm offering you a predictive edge, right? Any questions about this? Because trading isn't about what just happened. Well, my average tells me blah, 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 blah. Well, my so-and-so Elemental P tool tells me yada, yada, yada. There's a girl online now, I can't stand her. I'm sure she's nice. But she's 12 years old and she's telling people, all I need is trend lines. That's all I look at. I look at trend lines. And that's the secret. All I do is look at trend lines. And I look at this chart And Lars, you know what I say, Stanley? Which trend lines? Because I can put 100 people on a desk right now, and I can ask 100 people, which trend lines are you going to draw? And one guy might sit here and say, well, I really like this one. It's got 3 touches. And then another guy is going, hey, I really like this trend line. These have 3 touches. Well, this one went through a little bit. Well, there was a trend line here, and then there was another one over here, maybe, I guess, and then there was another trend. Which one? And they leave it ambiguous so that when you fail, don't worry, there's another course. Don't worry, there's another meetup, there's another Discord, there's another free ebook. And I look at the chart and I say, hey, what did the software tell me? Where were the signals and the times? Oh, okay, I knew what to do. And I knew when to do it. I knew to buy gold here at 9 o'clock. I knew to buy it here. I knew to buy it here. And I'm watching to buy it here. And I'm damn well going to have my ass in a chair at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. on Monday, on Friday morning, and on Monday evening, and 1 o'clock on Monday afternoon. And trader after trader, email after email, phone call after phone call, everyone is choosing the other thing. And they're saying, I like losing a lot. Michael, what you got to understand is I want to have a free trial where I can lose a lot of money and feel like crap after 2 weeks when the guru calls me and tells me about his super secret third monitor that I can't see. And he's extending a special invitation to me for just $195. He's going to show me what's on that third monitor because he sees potential in me. And I'm just like, no, 7 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 1 o'clock. And then 9 o'clock on Tuesday morning. Every chart that I show, Bob, on this screen on Thursdays, with the exception of the daily ES chart, is 714.00 swing strength 8. Every chart that I show is 714 swing strength 8. One minute E-mini NASDAQ chart, and then we're going to finish. These are the furthest signals from the forecasts. These are the furthest signals from the forecasts from 4 days ago. If we go 4 days into the future and we look at what we were supposed to do on the NASDAQ, here's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. There's a stop out right there, minus 12. Here's a stop out right here, minus 9. Ready? Crossover, long, 12. Signal with trend, boom, 7. Puncture, stop out, minus 9. Signal, small loss, minus 13. Small loss, minus 7. And here's the 1. Boom. All the way to the close, 4 o'clock, plus 68. All the way back throughout the course of the day on the 1 minute NASDAQ. Could you have made money at these signals? Does this look like a random market to you? No. One trade at 11.22, you get in, you get out, you've made $800. If you have Apex accounts, 800 times 20, 800 times 10. You don't need the full length of the move. If you come in here and you make $200 across 10 accounts, that's $2,000. And it's not just one day of the NASDAQ. It was today. It was yesterday. It's overnight while you're watching Netflix with your wife. You could be sitting there and look and excuse yourself for a few minutes and say, honey, I'll be right back. I have to short the NQ for $400. So on the daily E-mini S&P chart, Bob, and then we'll finish up because I'm running out of voice. Because I don't think anyone who's heard this that doesn't believe me is going to believe me. If I load the standard default onto the S&P, there's one set of settings that works really well. There's the 714. So if I didn't modify it at all, Bob, these are the signals for the daily chart on the E-mini S&P. What I do is I come in and I change that value to trading days. I put a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 5. It's the only market on Thursday that I changed the settings for because I think I get a much better read on the market. And now it's long from the 23rd until February 4th. One, 2, 3, 5, swing strength, 5, in trading days. Okay, but if I keep it the same as everything else, it's just as good. Any questions? Any questions? Okay. You have a choice. I'm going to come out of the PowerPoint because I love this slide. I'm going to show it every webinar till I'm dead. Put it on a picture and show it at my eulogy. You're choosing every day to put your resources up against the most powerful people in the world. The Saudi Wealth Fund, the oligarchs in Russia. Do not look at a Bollinger Band. The Saudis, when they trade oil futures and invest in the S&P, are not using trend lines. BlackRock is not using MACD divergence or that cool free tool you saw in the Facebook group. They are manipulating the market, and they're using algorithms designed to persuade you the basest forms, the most primal parts of your psychology, to do the exact opposite thing when they need liquidity. That is what you decided you were going to do with your $2,000 computer and your fiber optic cable from your house in the suburbs. And that is why 90–95% of people fail. You're playing Candyland, and they're using Monopoly pieces. It's not fair. So when you leave here and you go to look, now that you have seen this chart, right? Now that you've seen this chart, I want you to look at it really closely. And now take away the signals. Is Bitcoin done? Is that a double top? Is there divergence here? Should I short it? Is there a trend line here or maybe here? What do I do? It's like I turned the lights off. It's like I severed a vital communication cord between us and the mafia. When do I buy Bitcoin next? It's right here. Why do I care? But because of what the last signals it warned us about did. Okay. There's a variation of the program that's available also for, let me see if I can find it. There's a variation of the program now that's available for TradingView. Some people don't have NinjaTrader, right? And so now I can look at markets like the Trump coin. And I can say, hey, me and the family, we're big Trump supporters. We want to know when's a good time to buy Trump coin. Well, the answer to that was never, unless you were on the inner circle. But other than that, the program warned you 9 a.m., 6 p.m., 9 a.m., 6 p.m., and the next buy time is coming here 7 o'clock tonight. The next sell time is coming 4 a.m., 8 a.m. The next sell time is 1 p.m. and 6 p.m. I have the times on the right-hand side of the chart. They're already manipulating the Trump coin, right? And so I can look and see, okay, I trade oil futures. And now I want to see when are the next big moves in oil futures coming on TradingView. This program is called Chronos, the god of time. So now if I'm using Chronos on TradingView on a long-term time frame, I'm short from 1 a.m. until 6 a.m. I'm trading a puncture down below the white line, not once, but twice. There's another puncture. I'm trading it short at 8 p.m. I'm trading it short this morning, according to Chronos, 6 a.m. this morning on oil futures until 9 a.m. I make a little money. And then what do I do there? I trade the puncture, and now I'm still short in oil futures. And I can change that from a 1-hour chart to a 10-minute chart if I want to use less risk, if I want to take more trades, if I want to spot divergence ahead of time. This is now available for the most popular platform on earth. We spent 2 years making it available for this platform. Is it as powerful as the NinjaTrader program? Not really. TradingView limits the number of lines of code we can apply to the program. But if you're blind and I hand you a 5-watt flashlight, boy, it's a lot brighter in that room now, isn't it? If you're trading with TradingView and this is all you've got, here's a 5-watt flashlight. Take a look around because the next signals are coming. The next signals are coming. Any questions here as I slow down? We've come a whole hour. Boy, my goodness, that hour went by really quickly, and I want to thank you for your time here today. I only have 60 minutes to share what I know with everybody, and I want to make sure that you get the most out of it. This is what I'd like for you. We have a team of people here. Right now, alone in our Skype group, that's right, I said Skype group. We're old. We do old people things. In our Skype group, there's a user community. This is what I'd love for you to be a part of. Right now, there are 331 people in here. And they're sharing what they're doing with each other. There are 331 people in this group that are sharing their P&Ls with each other and their setups and how they do the things. That's part of our team of people that we want you to be a part of. I figured out a few years ago what happens if we connect the successful customers with the people who aren't as well versed in the program yet. Well, they come in and they tell people when they're buying and when they're selling and why. They encourage each other. And so that's part of the team that's available here. They share their settings with each other and tell you what they're doing. We have people who trade the software on staff that are willing to come in alongside you and mentor you and train you. We have people who've been answering technical service questions now for close to 12 years that can get you out of a jam in real time. And we have programs and software that's rated. Check this part out. I didn't even tell you this part. When people have a chance to tell other traders what actually happened, we got a 4.7 out of 5. 94% of people gave us a 5-star rating. And people still read these reviews and say, oh, I don't know. So you have ratings that can only be written by customers. You have a community group of people who are supporting each other. You have a webinar where I show the signals after the fact and give you the details 2-4 days before the signal ever gets there. I give you a trading system that in the hardest market to trade made $1,300 hypothetically across 2 days with one contract. And all I'm asking is for a chance. The same chance you gave all the other garbage picking marketing machine guru influencers with their fancy Instagrams and their highly polished YouTube segments with their giant magenta light behind their head as they eloquently tell you, all you need is a trend line. Give us a chance. I promise you, you're not going to regret it. Get in the car. Use the best thing you could possibly have, backed by people who've been supporting traders like you for nearly 20 years. And get back out on the track on Friday. Take it out on Monday. Throw the simulator up for a little while. Get your confidence up. And then when you see that signal with trend, you see that buy dot, you see that pullback to the support level that you watch, and there's this giant white line on it, take it. I can't wait for your 4-star, 5-star review. I'm addicted to it because when you give me that review, I know that other person didn't get it. The ICT guy didn't get it with the 2 million views. The guy who shows market replay trades and you think they're real and he's got cool R&B music in the background. You didn't buy his course. You didn't fall victim to another free trial scheme. Oh, I can't wait for your 5-star review. Num, 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 num. To get the program, there's a couple ways you can go. Number one, if you want the NinjaTrader version, you're going to go to our website, backtothefuturetrading.com. And when you scroll down to the product store, the program you're interested in is TimeWarp. Go ahead and click on it. At the bottom of the Warp page is a buy now link. Don't panic. There's a promo code coming. I have a live trading room. It meets Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I am one of the 2 founders of the company. I have seen as many signals that this program can generate as anyone on earth. When I meet with the customers in the morning, I'm showing setups. I'm showing signals. I'm warning people in the Skype groups that are part of our deal, hey, let me show you the trade we took this morning. If you were in my advanced room, you'll remember my last words to you were look for the long at 11:20, right? And then before that, we had this trade this morning together in the room, long right here just before 10:30, the pullback to that line. These are trades from the room that I'm advertising to you right now. If that's important to you, this is the E-mini S&P. That's a trade that I told people we're buying here, our stop is here, and my target is here. If that's important to you, it's $200 a month. Add it to your box, and we'll start to dance on Tuesday of next week together. The classes are recorded. I don't care if you live in Tasmania or you're stationed in that crazy base in Antarctica and you won't be awake then. Watch the replay. Otherwise, don't come. Proceed to check out without it, no big deal. Purchase agreement, standard stuff. You agree to the terms. Here's the code, W, lowercase ARPOFF. WARPOFF, WARPOFF, all one word, no caps, no spaces. Takes $500 off of the price. That's my gift to you. Get yourself something nice. Get yourself some Trump coin, whatever it is you want to do with it. Take Mrs. Trader out for whatever, or Mr. Trader, or non-binary trader. I don't judge. It's your $500 back in your pocket. There are people who pay full price all the time. If you want, use your PayPal, pay later. You don't have to make any payments for 6 months. That's there for you. Otherwise, hit checkout and you're good to go. If you would like to use the newly released TradingView variant. The link is in the chat box. If you don't see it on the website, it's because it's not even advertised yet. It's so fresh, the paint is wet. I'm going to blow it up for people at home to see that are watching on the video. backtothefuturetrading.com /TACHEON Chronos, the God of Time. That's the link. And if you click on that link in your chat box, you'll see Chronos is available for TradingView for $195 a month for our first users. This price only goes up and up and up. So if this is something you're interested in getting and using and having, it's available, it's working, it will give you these times. Rock and roll, let's go. So Chronos is available for TradingView or Warp lifetime license, $24.95 for NinjaTrader. I leave it to you. You win battles by knowing the enemy's timing. If I've done nothing today, I've shown you 4 days in advance when the moves were coming. For the E-mini S&P, we could do it for pound, dollar, the Dow, gold, the DAX, any one of these chosen at random. I can apply these trading rules to them and show you net profitability over time, an edge, one that is 100% predictive, so you're not sitting at your computer all day, not tempted to go back in the afternoon and give it all away, not over trading 1,000 times because you're addicted to the game, not using ridiculous stop levels because some guru wants you to fail so you can buy the better course. Know when to trade, how long to hold your winners and let them run. Supported by a cast of customers with a 4- and 5-star review history, supported by hundreds of people in a live room who can answer your questions in real time, supported by associates internally who are trading and qualifying for and receiving payments from funded accounts, from their options trades and from their prop firm accounts. Myself and my partner available after nearly 20 years of sharing what we know with thousands of people all over the world. That's what I'm offering you guys today. An alternative to the jungle of nonsense that is out there. Thank you, Stanley. I really appreciate you. Large, I appreciate you. Bob, thank you. And now I want to turn you loose because I know your time is valuable. Your time is valuable, and it's getting dark out. We made it. We made it all the way to the end. We made it through the snowstorm. We made it through the ice. We made it through the time signals. It's real. Everyone else has taken the chance before you got here. You're not the first person to use this. There's a legacy of success. And I believe in you. I know you can do it because I've seen really unintelligent people. I've seen some dumb traders come through and make a lot of money. And most of you here are smarter than the person that I'm thinking of right now. And I know you can do it. I believe you can. May the wind be at your back. May the sun shine upon your handsome, beautiful faces. May the mountains lay low before you. May the valleys rise up to meet us on our journey. I wish you peace. I wish you joy, health, fellowship, prosperity. I wish you deeper meaning in your life. Money is just money. What are you going to do with your profits? What causes will you support? Who will you spend your time with on this little blue marble moving 13,000 miles an hour through the void of space? What will you do with the money to make your time here meaningful? Because I'm all in. I'm invested. I'm interested. I want to help. But you got to meet me. You got to meet me on the other side of that big orange buy now button. And then the journey begins. I love you guys. Thank you so much for your time here today. The webinar will be uploaded to our YouTube channel. Check us out. Back to the Future Trading. We're also on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X as well, formerly Twitter. And I look forward to seeing you on the other side. Be well, be safe, and remember, it's time. If you're not focused on time, you're getting sold something, you're going to be mad at the guy later on and back here in the webinar with less money. Now is the time to move forward. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.